Hello, Lakshmi Rana. It's so good to see you again. And I must thank Blenders, Pride Fashion Tour, and FDCI for bringing us together.
Yes, thank you, Jamal. I mean, this is such a pleasure. I mean, to just be interacting with you over this amazing platform. Thank you, FDCI and Blenders Pride Fashion Tour, for having us here and making this such an amazing experience.
In my tenure as the editor of HT Brunch in 5 years now, there are only a couple of times that we have repeated a star. And in 2 years, Lakshmi, you made it to the cover 2 times. So double congratulations. But Lakshmi, what really stood out for me was this one phone call you made at the behest of FDCI President Mr. Sethi, where you explained to me how you were beginning to use the experience of 20 years in the fashion industry that you have to mentor young talent. And you spoke about it with so much of passion. The call was not for a story. The call was because you wanted me to come and judge the finals. But that passion struck a chord, and I said, this is a story. Now, I've been in the journalism industry for over 20 years myself, and I know how disorganized it can be for people who want to become models, who want to make a mark in the fashion industry. And there's such few platforms where people actually come out and help them. Where did this idea of Wilderbee come about, Lakshmi, and why Wilderbee in the first place?
No, this project Wilderbee is a project of passion for me. I'm pretty well settled, and I wanted to do something which is a little more than just being a model. And this is exactly what I want to change. In our world, in the fashion industry, models are termed as just models. There is nothing else to it. And for quite a few of talents who come across and talk to me about it, they feel like clothes hangers, literally, because there is a lot of personality which needs to go behind what a model really is. And
Right.
that needs to be expressed. And that is one of the reasons why I have been working for so long. And I have kind of made it so far because a lot of the youngsters, the young aspirants, the people, the models who are getting into the industry don't understand that it is about a personality. It's about a function of your personality rather than a pretty face.
Right.
And that's exactly what I wanted to do, and instill these kind of concepts into the minds of the young aspirants who want to get into the industry, and also make them understand the business of modeling. And me and some of my other peers have managed to make modeling our business. It's a full-fledged business. And this is what I wanted to teach and probably, just basically share with the kind of experience I've had.
So let me tell you, for what little I saw, you did a fantastic job because, on the jury were big names like Mr. Sethi, there was Manish Malhotra, and you trained these guys so well that we just couldn't pick the top three. You had polished, diamonds that were really coming out. And I also saw one thing, Lakshmi, and correct me if I'm wrong, they were very grateful to you. They were grateful for the guidance. They were grateful for the exposure. They were grateful for standing in the FDCI office that afternoon and being commented on by some stalwarts from the industry.
Absolutely. The reason why I feel that they give back so much emotion to me and the team is because of the fact that we bring about a different kind of a change in them. We try and make them understand what they are worth. We try and give them that confidence that, whoever you are and whatever you are, you're good. And this is exactly what Wilderbee, the core concept of Wilderbee is self-realization. People need to realize that we are all unique creations of the universe, and we are all different, and we need to be proud about our own unique individuality. And that is something that our younger generation, this generation lacks.
Right.
Need to understand that, it is okay. And beauty standards are different, perceptions are changing about beauty. And we need to understand that, everybody has a beautiful side to them. All one needs to do is to just imbibe it and, be confident about it. And that's
Right.
where we start off. Our entire course starts off with making people realize, making these young aspirants realize that, you are good, and then go about this business.
Well,
And
this is going to be a huge point of pride in the legacy that you leave behind. And congratulations to you. You still have to tell us, though, why you named it Wilderbee.
I named it Wilderbee, Jamal, because after a lot of consideration, after a lot of thinking, and honestly, there is not a huge story behind it, but it is something I've always worked with intuitions, with what I feel. And I remember I was sitting with Anisha Oberoi in Singapore. She's a very dear friend
Right.
of mine, and we were thinking about names and we were brainstorming. And
Right.
we were having breakfast at this beautiful place with a fresh mind. And I saw this honey which was kept on the breakfast table, and it was
Uh-huh.
like wild honey. And
Right.
I looked at it and I said, okay. And that name just came to me, Wildebeest. And it kind of represents who I am. I have been a very hardworking girl. I have been free
Right.
spirited. I have always done things my own way. And somehow this name stuck a chord. And that's how it was made.
Well, we wish Wilderbee and you the very best. The fact that you could pull it off in the middle of a pandemic single-handedly, fantastic job. Now, Lakshmi, I'm going to flash back to a time when you started off. You made your entry into the fashion world at the same Miss India pageant that threw up Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen. Now, out of all the girls, was it the same year? Was it a year?
Same year. This was the year of Lara Datta, Priyanka Chopra, and Dia Mirza, and me, and
Right,
another girl called Gayatri, who's also, I think, a movie star in the South. We
right,
were the top
right.
five that year.
Right. But out of all those girls and it was the peak of the Miss India pageant, right? We were throwing up international contestants, winners year after year. Out of all the girls that year, you were the only one who made it to Fashion Week. Tell us about that.
Miss India was such an amazing opportunity. At that point of time, the girls were amazing. I mean, every single person had a chance. And they were all well spoken. They came in from very good families, and they were all. I used to see girls wearing designer clothes during training, and I had like 3 pairs of denims and some 5 t-shirts. They've come in from
Right,
a small town from Dehradun. I did not have much, and my mom, my parents just told me, okay, now this is how much we can afford, and you can go and apply for
right,
this competition. So by the end of it, it did not really matter exactly what I was wearing, but about how I conducted myself during the competition. What was different about me was that once I reached the top five, there were a lot of offers coming in from Bollywood, and there were directors. I remember there was Karan Johar, there was Shah Rukh and Juhi, and all of them in the judging panel.
right,
There was a lot of this hype about Bollywood at that point of
right,
time.
right,
I knew where I wanted to be, Jamal, and that is exactly what it is all about, right? I knew that I did not want to be in Bollywood. I did not
right,
want to go to acting. That was not my forte. I wanted
right,
to be in the fashion industry and make it
right,
big here.
right,
So that clarity was there then in my
right,
mind. And I guess that is the kind of energy that I gave on ramp when I walked. That is the kind of energy I gave on the shoots that I did. And I was picked up from Miss India and given Fashion Week to an absolute newcomer, and that was an amazing experience and a game changer for me.
Well, there was a supermodel in the making right there 20 years ago. Now, you also confessed fairly honestly in the HT Brand story that you went through body issues in the first few years as a model. You dropped from size 8 to size 6. You often thought clothes wouldn't look good on you. You also experienced loneliness. Tell us about those insecurities and that tough time.
The fashion industry, when you enter the industry, it is like any other profession. It's a lonely place. You take time to make your mark, and you take time to occupy space in
Right,
that industry. The fashion industry, for that matter, is a little different because you constantly meet people, but everybody is very busy with their own work in their own lives. And you are alone in a city like Delhi, and you are trying to, and you've come in from a place, which I'm from the army world, wherein there is a lot of formality, and there's a lot of politeness, and there's a lot of humility
correct.
when you
Yes,
deal with other people,
yes,
when you talk to other people, you
yes,
wish each other. Those are the things that I saw that was a little lacking initially, and I'm not judging anybody. I feel everybody is busy, but the point is that it did come like a shock to me, and I had to kind of mold myself to understanding that I'm here for the job and I'm not here to make friends, you know. And that took me about a year and a half, 2 years to kind of get adjusted to this world,
right,
you know.
right,
So I feel that what worked for me was the fact that I was focused towards my work rather than focused towards my emotions and what I was going through.
Right.
And that helped me pull off
Right.
the kind of doldrums that I was going through when it came to this
Right.
industry.
Right. So that was dealing with people. Yes. What about the body issues that you had? How you looked? Did you feel insecure? I mean, we thought you looked gorgeous right from the word go, but it's interesting to hear whether you faced and how you dealt with those insecurities that you had.
Well, I used to think that I was pretty fit, but till the time I joined the industry, I was an athlete. I used to play basketball. I played state for basketball. I played badminton. I was a short distance runner. I was pretty fit till the time I
Yes.
got here, and I realized that no, I mean there are things that people are not happy about when it comes to my body, and I need to change that because they would give you a size 6 outfit and tell me to fit into it while I'm a size 8, right? So, and you're supposed to fit into anything that is given to you,
Right.
and that doesn't work like that, right?
Right.
So you have to understand what measurements the model is,
Yes.
and size 8 is a pretty decent size
Right.
for an Indian girl.
Right.
At that point of time, given all credits given to the designer, there were a lot of designers like Manish Arora, and Manish Arora was going abroad. He was doing wonders for India. He was showcasing in Paris, and the standards of sizing internationally was very, very small. It was size 4, size 6. Size 6 was one of the larger sizes.
Right.
And realized that slowly and steadily, the designers in India also started making outfits which were size 6 and size 4.
Right.
And that would not have suited me as a model. And I had to come down to size 6 with a lot of difficulty. But I managed to do that, and it kind of took me along. So yes, there were issues, and there were body issues that everybody faces. And the funny thing, Jamal, is that it is not something that's said to you after taking you to a corner. It is said to you in front of everybody. In front of the crowd, that maybe she has a slightly larger upper body, or she has slightly heavier hips, and I always found that very, very impolite and very strange, honestly.
Well, you did come from a very formal army background, and that was the tough part of the job. Lakshmi, do you think with the advent of inclusivity, where more real-sized models are being accepted on the ramp, this issue will slowly phase itself out?
Yes, I think the perceptions of beauty, the proverbial beauty standards have changed. And, through the years that I've been in this industry, but I still feel, Jamal, that we have a long way to go. We are in a generation where, the younger generation right now are suffering from mental disorders and rising cases of mental disorders because of these societal beauty parameters that they face. And that leads to self-doubt and self-love issues, which we need to change. And I feel the fashion industry should be harbingers of this change, because all these people look up to us for the correct beauty standards, and we need to have more representation when it comes to this, so that they feel that they are okay with whatever size, whatever gender, whatever sex, and whatever color that they are from. Because last year, India Fashion Week, that is FDCI, did a finale, which was just the celebration of the revocation of Article 377. And it was something which was such a beautiful finale. And hats off to FDCI for coming up with it.
Yes.
Where we had people from all genres walking the ramp, and we celebrated diversity.
Yes.
And I knew that there and then that this is the future. This is where I want to make a difference. This is where I want to come in. And I realized that most of these models who came in from different inclusive platforms did not have any training.
What do you think needs to be done to ensure that inclusivity, like many other things in fashion, doesn't prove to be a passing fad?
Lots, Jamal. First of all, I feel there needs to be a growing awareness of what the new normal is. This is the new normal. So that awareness needs to be there, not only amongst all of us, but amongst brands, institutions, amongst people who are just regular people. They need to understand that inclusivity is here to stay. And the word inclusivity has been so used because I feel that that is actually a normal thing, right? To include everybody into a space
Right.
which is beautiful. And apart from that, I feel that brands need to kind of make it a little more. They need to kind of give it more stress in terms of having more people, more representation in their runway shows or their shoots. And apart from that, also have different sizes when it comes to their manufacturing of their clothes.
Right.
So we can't only do a plus size clothing for only certain brackets wherein it is made to order or something. It
Right.
needs to be there. And I feel that there has to be gender neutrality when it comes to even designs. And I feel a lot of international designers are doing it right now. Gucci is doing it. A lot of different designers are doing it. Different brands are doing it. And I feel India needs to get into that space wherein we make a difference. We make a real difference.
Well, let's hope it's a trend that doesn't just die out. But moving on, Lakshmi, modeling is known to have cutthroat competition. A lot of people are out to get each other. That's what it seems like from the outside. It feeds insecurity, leads to loneliness. How true is that?
Well, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in modeling
Yes.
all these years is that one needs to be in no competition with anybody else. They need to be
Right.
in competition with your own. One needs to be in competition with your own self,
Right.
because that is the only way you can be focused
Yeah.
towards where you want to be, or where which
Right.
or towards your goals.
Right.
And it also keeps you at peace. You
Right.
know, it helps you grow,
Hmm.
and you kind of come to a point where you understand yourself and the kind of work you want to do. As soon as you're in a competition,
Yes.
you tend to pick up anything and everything that comes your way.
Right.
And Jamal, I've never done this. And this is
Right.
exactly what I keep telling my students, that,
Yes.
this is not something that you should be doing. You should know where your niche is. And
Right.
you should be focusing towards your strengths and not doing
Right.
everything that everybody else is doing. And that
Right.
is not the way to grow.
Right. Right. So when you're mentoring young models, what is it that you tell them to help them be mentally stronger to face these odds?
The first and foremost thing that I tell them is that you need to know yourself, which is self-realization, which will lead to confidence. And this is
Yes.
something which I feel the younger generation lacks.
Right.
They need to, this is exactly, we start off a module with this.
Yes.
We start off our entire program and we stress on it so much. It's a 3-hour theory program where we actually tell them that, what are the ways to be positive about yourself? What are the ways to feel good about yourself? And what are the ways to accept yourself? And once that, we give them action points. And
Yes.
once you do that, it just basically changes the way you look at life,
Right.
the way you walk on the ramp, the way you stand in front of the camera for a shoot. It just changes all this. And we
Right.
also deal with inclusive models, which is plus size girls and petite girls and boys. And as soon as they come into a world where they are standing with the regular girls, which are those tall, pretty, thin girls, there is an immediate sense of their confidence being diluted.
Right.
And that is something which cannot be solved if it is not solved from within.
Right.
It has to be
Right.
something that one needs to work on.
Yes.
So that is how I try and change them. I try to change the way they look at modeling. I try to change the way they look at themselves.
Right.
And so far it has yielded benefits, and I'm very happy with the results that's coming in.
Yes. Well, everyone at Wilderby was very confident. So you've done a good job. Now, Lakshmi, many aspiring models, when they go out to seek guidance, are often told first that it's okay, you want to be a model and all, but do you have an alternate career handy? I'm guilty of saying that to young aspiring models as well. Do you subscribe to the statement or no, and why?
Well, modeling, Jamal, is a short term and a unpredictable and an inconsistent career. So this is as plainly as I can put it, and this is the fact. You don't know whether you will be going up the graph, or whether the graph of your career will start coming to a plateau at some point, or it will just stop growing. So this is something which is So for me, I feel modeling is also a place wherein it gives you time to hone your own skill sets apart from what a skill set is required for a model. So you can pursue studies, you can pursue different interests, and you can actually get into a, a, a kind of a talent base wherein it will yield benefits later on whenever the modeling days get over. So yes, it is an unpredictable profession, Jamal, and unfortunately, we cannot constantly only focus on modeling because there is a shelf life to a model, you know.
Fair
And
enough. Well said. Well said. You've put it as it is, and thank you for that. Today, Lakshmi, is also the age of social media. Young people use Instagram to become influencers before they become star models. How do you advise young modeling aspirants to use social media to their advantage?
yes, we are living in an era where there is a multitude of social media platforms, and each of them have the power to influence, to sustain opinions and perceptions, and influence the masses. So, what is important for the younger generation to realize is the power that social media has today, and how can you constructively use it to self brand, self realize, and self improve yourself, you know. So for me, social media is something that is also a part of my ability modules, wherein we teach people how to brand themselves on social media. Today, in the modeling world, especially for models, uh, the portfolio, the gone are the days when you had to have a physical portfolio. I come from that era.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, now
Trump cards.
now your Instagram is
Yeah,
your portfolio. And today, brands are not only looking for a pretty face or a particular, something, a person that looks a certain way. Brands are also looking for a personality. They're looking for what the person is all about, and that kind of reflects from his social media. So I know for a fact that a lot of scouting happens on social media. You know, agencies are looking for fresh faces, and that also they do on social media.
right,
No, so we teach our students how to do their own
right.
portraits. We teach them how to put them up on Instagram. We teach them how to be responsible about social
Right.
media, you know. And the other thing that is amazing about social media is that it has brought the world together and it has connected people. So
Absolutely.
now, if you want to connect with me, you can just about send me a personal message and I will see it. If you want to
Absolutely.
approach a brand that you admire and you want to probably shoot for, you can approach them directly. So it is an amazing platform if it is used intelligently and responsibly.
Right. Fantastic. There used to be this belief, Lakshmi, that moms cannot be models. Today, moms can be supermodels, and you are a case in point. How has that changed?
Well, there have been a number of myths and molds that we have been challenging and breaking, and I feel the women have been in the forefront of it. We have been challenging a lot of molds that society has put forth to us. When it comes to working mothers, successful working mothers, and successful supermodels for that matter, it is a function of grit and determination. Mal. It's about where you want to be. And the second thing that is really important is the support from family and friends,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And this is why I feel one of the biggest lessons that I have to tell you that I have learned from my world of modeling is that how to strike a balance, how important it is to strike a balance between, um, you know, your talent, ability to hustle, hard work, social life, personal life, and professional life, because they all go hand in hand. So today, when I got into Fashion Week 3.5 months after Navisha, my daughter, was born, and that could
Right.
not have been possible without the support of my family.
Well, so that brings me to one of the most personal questions today. Tell us a little bit about your family life. We know you've spent the last few weeks in Kashmir with your husband and Navisha, your 7-year-old daughter. What is a supermodel like at home?
She's a very regular person, and family kind of keeps you grounded as well. Did I say that before? No.
Well,
Family grounded. Family make sure that you're not flying too high. It brings you back to Mother Earth. It brings the human out of you. And I have this wonderful man who is an army officer as a husband, and he's been a friend of mine even before I started modeling. So we go back a long, long way. And he is my strength. He is my strength. He's actually my mentor, literally. He's my mentor because he has guided me throughout my career. And I feel that I'm blessed to have somebody like him to guide me into whatever venture that I want to get into. And that strength is powerful. You know. And my mom, she lives with me, so she's been a huge support when it comes to bringing up my daughter when I have been really, really busy. My daughter, who inspires me every day because she is one of those who knows how to keep it light. So she has made me realize that don't get too serious in life. And just enjoy yourself. So that also is a very, very good balancing factor for adults to kind of venture into. So yeah, that's my family. Wow.
well, that's fantastic. Now, I know, Lakshmi, this is meant to be like an informal chat, but I'm a journalist and I've been one for a long time now. So I am going to do a Karan Johar kind of quick questions and answers with you, right? Nothing too tough. Don't think too hard. Just brief answers off the top of your head. Yes, let's just have some fun. Question one, looks or personality? What's more important in a model?
Personality.
Size small or size real? When you're in the audience at a fashion show, what appeals to you more?
I have to say size real today, in today's world. I would say size real.
Lara Datta or Priyanka Chopra? Flashing back to your Miss India days, who was a cooler co-contestant?
Both were wonderful, Jamal, but
That's
Lara,
being diplomatic. Okay,
Lara
Lara, yes.
struck out because she is an Air Force officer's daughter as well. And we had that connection, and she comes across as a very warm and beautiful human being. I'm very fond of her.
Fantastic. Mumbai or Delhi, which city is the true fashion capital of India?
Definitely Delhi, undoubtedly Delhi.
Paris or Milan, which fashion week do you enjoy following more?
Milan.
Is modeling a fair profession? Is fashion a professionally run industry in India? Just give me a yes or a no.
Yes.
Is it true that designers have their favorites? Again, yes or no.
Yes.
Does the casting couch exist? Yes or no.
Not in the fashion world, not really.
Now, personal. Puneet Doval, your husband, or Navisha, your daughter. If you could take one of these two out for a surprise holiday, who would you take? Just
My
one.
daughter. My daughter.
Your daughter. Finally, one last question. If Navisha were to come to you a few years from now and tell you she wanted to be a model, what would you tell her?
The one thing that I would tell her is that she can be anything that she wants as long as she has her head on her shoulders and she knows where she's going, and as long as she keeps it real. I'm absolutely okay with what she wants to do.
Fantastic. With those words, Lakshmi, thank you so much. Such a fun chat today. Here's wishing you and Wilderbee every success.
Thank you so much, Jamal. That's such warm words. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Keep being you, Lakshmi, and have a great day.
Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you.